Hello dear student, Assalamu alaikum. Hope all of you are doing great at your home. This is Farzana Afroz from Rajauttara Model College. This video lecture is for class 8 students and subject is science, chapter 3, which is diffusion, osmosis and absorption. So at the starting we will see contents which discussed in the video. These are diffusion, osmosis, differentiation between diffusion and osmosis, and what is imbibition. In the diffusion we will know what is diffusion, diffusion pressure, importance of diffusion, and in the osmosis, definition of osmosis, different types of membrane and importance of osmosis. To begin with diffusion, we know all of the matter or materials, liquid, gas are made up of small molecules. These molecules are always in motion. In case of liquid and gas, the motion of these molecules are very fast and shows tendency to diffuse towards the region with lower concentration from higher ones. This movement of molecules continues as long as the concentration of the two regions becomes equal. So diffusion stops at once when the concentration of molecules becomes equal in two regions. This type of movement of molecules is called diffusion. In a precise way, we can say the net passive movement of molecules or particles from the region of higher to the region of lower concentration is called diffusion. The word diffusion came from Latin word diffusio, means spreading out. In the picture you can see solute are diffused into the lower concentration from its higher ones. Next one is diffusion pressure. The potential ability of the molecules or ions of any substance to diffuse from an area of their higher concentration to that of their lower concentration is called diffusion pressure. To understand the diffusion pressure, you have to know what is kinetic energy and what is potential energy. Kinetic energy is of an object possesses due to its motion, and potential energy is energy of an object has becomes of its position relative to some other objects. Basically, there is two types of energy. One is static condition and another one is a motion condition. In a motion condition, the energy is kinetic energy. In the diagram, you can see the moving energy is kinetic energy and another one is the static energy, which is potential energy. Potential energy is always determined by the comparison between two conditions. Let's understand how does diffusion occur. To observe that we need an experimental explanation. It is important to describe our experiment into 6 points. One is name of the experiment, second is principle, third is requirements, fourth is method, fifth is observation, and last one is result. With the starting of the name of experiment is the observation of copper sulfate diffusion into water. By doing this experiment, we can understand how does diffusion occur. Principle is diffusion of copper sulfate according to its concentration gradient. And the requirements for these experiments, we need copper sulfate, beaker, water, etc. And the method. Some copper sulfate, which is blue vitriol, in the diagram you can see there is a blue vitriol, are pour them into the water of a beaker. So copper sulfate is soluble in water and water will take the color of copper sulfate. In the observation, in a 3-step, we can see a clean, clear water gradually becomes crystal blue through a light blue phase. So it is diffused its higher concentration to a lower concentration. Now, what are the importance of diffusion? So its significance can be categorized into two ways, such as for plant and for animal. For plant, first of all, we can see the exchange of gases through stomata, for example, carbon dioxide intake and oxygen output during photosynthesis, and carbon dioxide output and oxygen intake during respiration takes place by the principle of independent diffusion. That means the respiratory gases, which is oxygen and carbon dioxide, diffuse across the stomata and lenticels of plant. Second one is it helps in absorption of mineral salts from soil to the plant. Most salts dissolve in soil water. For those salts whose concentration in soil water is higher than that of their concentration in the cell sap of root hair cells, they move into the root hair cells through diffusion. Plant requires mineral salts for numerous life process. Intracellular water and mineral salt solution together is called cell sap. So the concentration of cell sap always diffuse from its higher concentration to its lower concentration. That means soil water contains high level of mineral salts and the root molecules contain less or lower concentration. And third one is it also helps in translocation of food materials, contributes to the transportation of manufactured food materials from the leaves to other parts of the plant, is another important function of diffusion. Fourth one is the process of diffusion is involved in the transpiration of water vapors. Excess amount of water is released by the process of diffusion of plant. And the last one is aroma. Aroma of flowers is due to diffusion of volatile aromatic compounds to attract insects. That means aroma in the vicinity of flowers is nothing but the diffusion of the volatile aromatic compounds. Thus, the diffusion helps to attract insects and other animals for pollination. Diffusion is important to cells because it allows them to gain the useful substances they require to obtain energy and grow, and lets them get rid of waste products. The diagram shows the differences in the concentration of some of the substances between a cell and its environment, and the direction that they diffuse. The significances of diffusion for animals. First of all, it helps in gaseous exchange in animals. In animals, gaseous exchange occurs of certain structures known as respiratory surfaces. These include skin, gills, lungs, tracheal system, and the cell membrane. Cell membrane basically for unicellular organism. Gaseous exchange at these surfaces occurs through the process of diffusion. Second one is it helps in the absorption of digested food materials in the alimentary canal. The end products of digestion such as amino acid, glucose diffuse across the wall of the alimentary canal into the blood from transport to other parts of the animal body. And the last one is diffusion is important in excretion of nitrogenous waste, especially in unicellular animals, because they do not have any particular excretory system to get rid from the nitrogenous waste, so they need to remove it through diffusion process. Next topic is osmosis. The word osmosis came from Latinized Greek word osmos, which means push. Before going to start osmosis definition, I like to clear some key points to all of you, which helps to understand the definition of osmosis. Like, what is solvent, solution, solute? A solution is a mixture of solute and a solvent. A solvent is a substance that dissolves other materials to form a solution such as water. That means solvent is always one type of liquid material. A substance that dissolves in the solvent is called solute such as salt, sugar, which is always one type of solid materials which can dissolve into the solvent, and the combination of solvent and solute is called solution. There are three types of solution present. One is isotonic, second is hypertonic, and third one is hypotonic solution. An isotonic solution is one that has the same concentration of solutes both inside and outside of the cell. That means equal or similar type of solute concentration. Solute, that means a solid molecules which has same concentration inside and outside of the cell. For hypertonic solution is one that higher solute concentration outside of the cell than inside. That means cell contains low solid molecular concentration and outside of the cell contain higher solid molecular concentration. And for hypertonic solution is one that has a higher solute concentration inside of the cell than outside. So cell will be swollen up to have higher solute concentration. Next is membrane. Three types of membranes are present. One is selectively permeable or semi-permeable membrane. Next is permeable membrane, and last one is impermeable membrane. Selective permeable membrane, the membrane through which only the solvent molecules, water in case of plants, can pass but not the solute molecules, is called semi-permeable membrane. The examples of semi-permeable membrane is cell membrane and membrane inside the eggshell and membrane of swim bladder or air bladder which present in the fish. Permeable membrane through which molecules of both solute and solvent can pass easily. Example is cell wall. Impermeable membrane, the membrane through which molecules of both solute and solvent cannot pass. There is no movement of solute and solvent molecules. Examples are polythene, cell wall made up of chitin. So for clear concept, you will see there are three definitions of osmosis, but all of has same meaning. These three definitions will help to prevent your mistakes of osmosis definition. First one is osmosis is defined as the net movement of water molecules through a semi-permeable membrane from an area of higher to an area of lower water potential. That means in this definition it talks about the water molecules movement. That means solvent concentration movement. And second one is the process of a solvent diffusion through a semi-permeable membrane from an area of low solute concentration to an area of high solute concentration. In this definition, it is talking about the solvent diffusion, but the area is solute concentration. So in case of solute, it will be diffused from low to the higher. If we talk about the solvent concentration, then we will say higher concentration to lower concentration. And the last one is the tendency of water to flow from a hypotonic solution to hypertonic solution across a semi-permeable membrane is called osmosis. Hypotonic solution is low concentration of dissolved substances. That means solute concentration is always low, and hypertonic solution, that means higher concentration of dissolved substances. So finally, in a compiled way, we can say osmosis is a process by which the molecules of a solvent pass from a solution of low solute concentration to a solution of high solute concentration through a semi-permeable membrane. If we see an example, if a resin or dried grape is kept under water for some time, it swells up. It happens because dry grape absorbs water, and absorption of water occurs through osmosis. In the picture, you can see if the semi-permeable membrane removed from this picture or diagram, then it looks like a diffusion process. So osmosis is one kind of diffusion, because osmosis occurs only in case of liquid, and semi-permeable membrane keeps the two liquids separate. And this semi-permeable membrane is, if removed, then it will look like a diffusion. If two differently concentrated solution of same solvent is kept separated by a semi-permeable membrane, the solvent from dilute solution diffuse through the semi-permeable membrane into the high concentrated solution, and this process is called osmosis. Osmosis is of two types. One is endosmosis, another one is exosmosis. In the image endosmosis, the inflow of solvent, which is water, into a cell, which is resin, from outside when the cell is placed in distilled water. Cell swells up in the case and is called endosmosis. That means the solvent moves or diffuses from outside to the inside of the cell. That is endosmosis. And for exosmosis, the outflow of solvent, which is water, from cell when placed in more concentrated solution, which is salt solution or sugar solution, cells shrink, and this is called exosmosis. That means solvent solution comes from the cell into the outside. That is exosmosis. Next, significances of osmosis. Osmosis stabilizes the internal environment of living organism by maintaining the balance between water and intracellular fluid levels. If the level of water and fluids becomes down or low, it will be maintained by the osmosis process. Osmosis influences the transport of nutrients and the release of metabolic waste products. It helps to transportation or conduction of the nutrients from cell to cell, or from a parts of a body from another one. And it also helps to release the waste products. Third one is it maintains the turgidity of cells. What is turgidity? Turgor is the pressure of the contents of the cell against its cell wall. That means a cell always feels a pressure against its cell wall. It also feels a pressure from outside, and inside the cell it also feels a pressure into the cell wall. The pressure into the cell wall is turgor. It applies in any organism with cells and helps to maintain the cell shape. In a broad way, it induces cell turgor, which regulates the movement of plants and plants area, and also provides turgidity to the softer tissue, and is therefore essential for their mechanical support. Plant cells are enclosed by a rigid cell wall. When the plant cell is placed in a hypotonic solution, it takes up water by osmosis and starts to swell. But the cell wall prevents it from bursting. The plant cell is said to have become turgid, swollen and hard. The pressure inside the cell rises until this internal pressure is equal to the pressure outside. This liquid, which is hydrostatic pressure or turgor pressure, prevents the further net intake of water. The fourth point is osmosis plays significant role in absorption of water and minerals and translocation of food. That means it is responsible for the absorption of water from the soil and conducting it to the upper parts of the plant through xylem tissue. Fifth one is it is a process by which plant maintains their water content despite the constant water loss due to transpiration. Sixth one is this process controls the cell-to-cell diffusion of water. And also osmosis controls the dehiscence of fruits and sporangia, which occurs in the germination of seed. And last one is higher osmotic pressure protects the plants against drought injury. The differences between osmosis and diffusion. Osmosis basically occurs in the liquid medium and diffusion occurs in all type of medium. For the osmosis, it requires a semi-permeable membrane, and for diffusion it does not require any membrane. And the diffusion material of osmosis is only the solvent molecule. And for diffusion, both molecules, solute and solvent, can diffuse. And the direction flow of osmosis occurs only in one way. For diffusion, it occurs in all directed way. The category of solution for osmosis occurs between similar types of solution, and diffusion, it can occur both similar and dissimilar types of solution. The concentration of the solvent does not become equal on both sides of the membrane for osmosis, because after osmosis process the concentration gradient can be low or high for both sides. But for diffusion it continues up to the level when the both sides concentration becomes equalized. The rate of process for osmosis is slow, and for diffusion it is fast. And movements of particles are over short distance in the osmosis. If it is a very long distance, then there is no chance for osmosis. The movements of particles occurs in diffusion over a large distance. Last point for this video is imbibition, the process by which colloidal substances absorbs different liquid is called imbibition. Plant body contains various types of colloidal substance. The examples are very important: starch, cellulose, gelatin. Colloidal substances basically hydrophilic. What is hydrophilic? Hydro means water and philic means loving. That means water loving particles are colloidal substance. If we say it is a hydrophobic, then it means they are fear of water. Phobic means fear and hydro means water, hydrophobic. That means they have a fear of water. Imbibition process is one type of absorption process which only occurs in the colloidal substances. This is all about the diffusion, osmosis and imbibition process. I hope now you can understand these processes with their significances and definition and also the differentiation. Now you have some work which you will do at your home, and after resuming your class you will submit these answers. The creative question, you have a stem and you must write these answers of these questions. First one is what is Stargardt pressure, B is what do you understand by imbibition, and C and D is according to the stem. And you have also some multiple choices which also you have to submit after resuming the class. So thank you all, and please stay at home, be safe, and do your study regularly.